Okay, guys, while I was sitting here doing some research and things like that, I thought that I would maybe go over a little bit with you guys. We talked about basically the spice kit that I keep in my MSR Seagull, and I keep other things in here as well. You know, for emergency fire starting, I keep iodine, 2% tincture of iodine in here, which obviously is for first aid purposes or for disinfecting water. And then I keep some steel wool and lighter in there as well. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was there are actually 6 bottles in here, okay? And those 6 bottles, only 4 of them contain herbs. One of them is straight pepper. The other one of them is straight salt. So those are just refills basically for my GSI container here that has seasoned salt and pepper in it. All right, and I keep that with me just like that. And I have 2 black containers in there basically that just have salt and pepper in them to replace that with. All right, so let's talk about the 4 spices that I carry and why I carry them. And one of the things that I want you to understand is, number one, you know, I would encourage you to research anything before you try it. Okay, that's important because some people are allergic to certain things. Some things shouldn't be taken if you're pregnant. Some things people are allergic to. Some things shouldn't be taken if you're lactating or you're sick already and on other medications. So I encourage you to look at all these things before you look before you leap is what I'm trying to tell you, I guess. And it's that way with all medicinal herbs and plants and things like that. But what I do when I'm looking for medicinals is I try to find things that are for common ailments. I'm not looking for what cures cancer, you know, in a survival situation or a short-term situation of self-reliant living. I'm looking for the things that I can use every day to help me with common everyday problems. Sore throats, athlete's foot, a canker sore inside my mouth, a cut, an insect sting, poison ivy. Those are the kind of things that I'm looking for to find. And we've talked about some multi-purpose sundries already. We're going to talk about more before this series is over with. But what I want to talk about today are the 4 spices basically that I carry and why I carry them. And understand that these spices will do more things than what I'm going to tell you about. I'm only telling you the specific reason that I carry these spices. And of course, they're good for cooking as well. The first one is sage. Okay, I always carry sage with me, and the reason I carry sage is basically if you talk to any herbalist, they will tell you that sage is a specific thing that they use for sore throat. Okay, anything that has to do with the throat, the mouth, whether it be canker sores, sore gums, sore throat, anything like that, gargling sage will take care of that for you. That's the main reason that I carry sage, is because it's good for anything in the throat area if you start to get sick. The second one that I carry is cayenne pepper. Okay, cayenne pepper, the only reason that I really carry that is, number one, I like spicy food. Number 2 is because it is antiseptic and anti-hemorrhagic. And what that means is if I get a cut or a wound, especially something that's bleeding profusely and I can't find yarrow, I have that cayenne pepper. I can pack that wound with cayenne pepper, and it will not only be antiseptic in that wound, it will also be anti-hemorrhagic, which means it will stop the bleeding, and that's important, okay? Garlic is the third one that I carry with me all the time, and garlic is a pretty wondrous plant. And you need to really research garlic and look at that and look at all the things that it does, because I'm really only going to talk to you about a few things, the 3 things that I carry that for. Okay, I carry it because it has antibiotic properties. So if I get sick or I start to feel down, I'm going to take garlic because that is antibiotic to your system. Okay, it's also really good for cold and flu. If you already get a cold, you already get a flu, drinking an infusion of garlic will help alleviate those symptoms and cure that because of the antibiotics in it. The other thing that I carry garlic for is, and we don't talk about this too much in my videos, but garlic is really, really good for female issues. If your wife or your girlfriend or your mate or yourself, if you're a woman, get really heavy cramps or thick bleeding and things like that at that time of the month, garlic will help ease those pains. Garlic is really good for controlling menstruation problems. Cinnamon is the last herb that I carry with me other than salt and pepper. And the reason I carry cinnamon is again, it's good for cold and flu, and it's also anti-hemorrhagic, which means it stops bleeding, but it's very good for nausea and upset stomach. And I think that, those are pretty common problems that you're going to get in the bush. You're going to get an upset stomach from eating different things. Maybe you ate something that wasn't good, or maybe you ate something you haven't eaten before and it upset your stomach. You're going to get run down. Your your metabolism is going to lose its immune system properties to fight off infections from colds and fevers and flus and things like that. And anything that can help that is going to help you. So basically, those are the things that I carry. Now, you can also use some of these things on insect bites and stings and things of that nature as well. And we've talked about some of the multi-purpose sundries that you can use for that. And we've talked in other videos about medicinal plants and things of that nature. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in another series. I'm actually going to put a DVD series out on medicinal plants and herbs, but I wanted to discuss those 4 things that I carry with me, because with those 4 things, and of course I've got the 2% tincture of iodine, and with those things you can cure a lot of ills. And if you carry a couple multi-purpose sundries into a situation like this with you as well, like we've talked about with, the lard, and we've talked about baking soda, we've talked a little bit about flour, but we'll get to that a little bit heavier, and now we've talked about honey. If you have those types of things with you, and again with the honey, I'm using this Sugar Bear stuff right out of the store, which is pretty much crap. You need to get your honey from someone who raises bees. That way you're getting good, raw, unprocessed honey that's got all the good stuff in it. The packets from KFC and all of that stuff are no good. That's all processed honey, and a lot of the good stuff's taken out of that. I was basically just using this as an example to show you honey. It's not good honey. You want the kind that comes in a mason jar with the comb sitting inside of it. That's good honey. But anyway, I wanted to go over that with you guys today. I appreciate you joining me for this short segment in the Yurt series, and I'll get this posted up as quick as I can. I'm going to get my wood stove stoked back up. It's getting along toward evening time now, and I've got some things I've got to do. I've got to go see my grandchildren. I'll be back with you as soon as I can. Thank you very much.